Huddle Up Podcast is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app, that's arenaeats.app, for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? Now, Sean, last week we both went 1-2 in college football.
Yeah, great week.
Yeah, real great. So you maintain that 4-game lead. I'm at 25-19. You're at 29 and 15 currently. But I was gonna do a pick on the Michigan-Ohio State game just because we were talking about Ohio State, and I think the spread when I looked at it was like 20.
I'm gonna pick that they don't play
29. Well, there you go. I'm not gonna mark that down officially. But something that kind of has been brought up in the news as well, because 2 out of the 5 games I had written down to pick have already been canceled for COVID. So, obviously we've talked at various points throughout this season about the contract and status at Michigan of Jim Harbaugh. And a lot of the news over the past 24, 36 hours has been that they are actually now looking at extending Jim Harbaugh for a few more seasons, and which has kind of really raised the eye of people, especially Michigan fans. But for me, what this kind of, I think, boils down to, I'm not very shocked by it because I think, and from listening to like Dan Patrick over the past couple days, and just what we've seen over history, is Jim Harbaugh is about to enter his final year of his contract at Michigan. So you have one of two choices. You either fire him now or you extend him, because with college football, obviously recruiting is such a huge part of what college football is. And if you have a one-year coach who has not been renewed, not been extended, you're looking at a situation where he's probably only going to be there for one final season. That's not really going to help when you're sitting across from a high school student saying, yeah, I'm going to be here when you come to the University of Michigan. I'm going to be your head coach. So, there's been no numbers attached to it, but it sounds like it's a situation of, a multi-year extension where it would be less of a buyout, less annual salary. Because right now, Jim Harbaugh is like the 3rd or 4th highest paid college football. He's like eight almost $9 million a year. I think only Dabo, Nick Saban, and I forget the third one.
Charlie Weiss.
Yeah, probably still Charlie Weiss, if we're being honest. So what this does is it kind of takes some of that salary away, and it's incentive. So if Michigan does go to the Big Ten title game, go to the college football playoff, then Harbaugh's going to make more money. But if they kind of do what they've been doing and 8, 9, 10 win seasons, but you don't go to a playoff, you don't win a bowl game, then it's less of a hit, and the buyout would be less. So are you more shocked that at this point, based on what we've seen at the University of Michigan this year, we'll go to Sean, that Harbaugh there's talk of him being extended, or that he's not been fired? Like what is kind of maybe more surprising to you on that front?
I mean, to me, it's still him having a job. I mean, I was pretty sure that not only was it not going to be talk of an extension, that there was a chance this was going to end mid-year. And I know it's a strange year, and I know you can blame it on COVID if you want to, but it's not, it's not that far of a stretch that with the seasons that Michigan's been having, that like a bad season wasn't on the horizon. And maybe the shortened COVID season was a gift in disguise for Harbaugh. Like maybe it was going to be a tank year and an awful year, and then the lack of games, you're like, well, it's a crazy year. Whoops. I don't know. Maybe it worked out in his favor. Now the incentives in the contract and the inner workings of it, at least from what they're saying, seem to make sense if you are going to extend him. I think for me, it's the fact that you're looking to extend at this point. I don't know. I mean, I understand from a recruiting standpoint, he's a better name and having stability, something. But he's going to clean house on the staff to whether it's scapegoating or just trying to shake something up. That staff's going to be gutted. So it's not what the offense is going to look like.
I would hope and assume that somewhere in the agreement of an extension that Don Brown gets fired as your defensive coordinator.
Well, yeah, I think as far as anything, I think you're going to see a complete overhaul. I think you're going to have new coordinators with their own opportunity to hire coaches beneath. I don't think it's going to be like one or two guys. I think it's going to be Harbaugh and a whole new slate.
I think probably similar to what Notre Dame and Brian Kelly did after the 4-8 season.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So that's what you're going to see. So, I mean, maybe things look up for him. I don't know. I mean, I wish him the best, but he's got to turn it around against Ohio State and try to win himself at least a bowl game.
He's not gonna lose to Ohio State this year.
This will be the first.
This will be the first time that he doesn't lose to Ohio State. Dave, more surprised that Harbaugh is still has a job or that he's getting extended potentially.
Yes.
Perfect answer.
Yes, I mean the jackass denounced gambling like 3 years ago, so he's on my hate list to begin with. So we'll just leave it at that. That whatever comes to him, he deserves, and get a new pair of khakis with the money while you can there, Bodog Jim. But a couple other interesting coaching rumors I've heard. I'm not wasting any more time talking about that garbage state up north there. So I heard that there's a strong possibility Urban Meyer's going to Texas. I know I was tweeting you about that or texting you, whatever it was, and that was one I heard. And I heard that USC is going to buy out Cristobal. He has his buyout goes down by like $4 million January 15th, something like that. So once day after that it costs them $4 million less or something, they're going to buy him out type of thing. So two big ones that will probably be on the market there, or one that's off the market, and then one that's going to be back on the market, for lack of better terms. But I think we can agree on one thing and I know that there's some Chip Kelly love-hate here, but man, I'd love to see him back out west and running something somewhere just to put that college offense in. That was so much fun to watch. Can't do a damn thing in the NFL, but to watch him in college, that was. Yeah, he's
coaching UCLA, isn't he?
UCLA, but give him some talent or something.
Yeah, really.
Like those Oregon years, man, they were fun.
Oh, that was fantastic. Now, I thought I had seen on Sunday that Urban Meyer he's kind of shut down the prospect of Texas. Now we've seen these things over the years where it's a kind of more of a money play. Like I'm not coming back. Well, here's $2 more million. Okay, you twisted my arm.
I heard they were looking
called my bluff.
12 and 13 and a half mil a year. Jesus. So I don't know how true that was or anything, but again, rumors and everything. So, it's like everyone's got an opinion type of thing. But if that one has any materiality to it, you make him the highest paid coach, and that would be interesting. And you're in a very winnable conference that you can
absolutely
recruiting and you could turn that conference upside down. I mean, there's really not.
He could walk in there and within 1 or 2 seasons of recruiting, and he could basically be the Big 12 champion for, half a decade or more, just based on his ability to recruit defensive players.
I agree. Well, I think that's one thing that COVID's really shown, and I do think it's unfair for a lot of these coaches, that are, I don't want to say being, hand-strung, hand-tied, whatever you want to call it, but a lot of these coaches are getting the short end of the stick, and some of them deservedly so. I'm looking at you, Michigan, but these coaches are putting it in it's a situation that they've never been in before, and the coaches that are succeeding are clearly the ones that can rally and motivate their troops, for lack of better terms. And it's not talent helps and everything, but you look at coaches and leadership and things like that, and the ones that are really rallying the troops, bonding with the team is really what's getting it done. I mean, look at Indiana that came out of nowhere, for lack of better terms.
Awesome.
And some of these guys, and you could tell that I can never remember his name. Hearn, is it Tom Hearn, something like that? But
yeah,
you could tell that he cares about these kids, and he's got 60 boys out there that are his sons that are playing every week, and it's that type of attitude that has gotten a lot of these little schools, for lack of better terms, playing real well this year.
Yeah, and I mean that's been a big difference, over the past handful of years with Brian Kelly, as he's really kind of changed his approach to dealing with with his athletes from the his early years at Notre Dame, when you're seeing him purple faced on the sideline and just blowing a gasket, that when a guy makes a mistake, he kind of pulls him in and is just kind of like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And he, he's kind of approached, himself a little bit, and it's paid dividends for, 3 straight 10 plus win seasons, and the Cowboys just missed a field goal. Which, why are you kicking field goals at this point anyway, you cowards?
Because Zerline's your best player.
But I'm fine with it. The more the Cowboys lose, the better for me at this point.
Got to cover, baby.
Like for the Cowboys to lose, then that puts them in a great position for Jerry to screw up the number 3 pick in the draft. So. Huddle Up Podcast is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app, that's arenaeats.app, for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? But let's go to some games to predict. This one, not neither team in the top 25, but it is one of the most recognizable games in college football on this season. It is 3-2 Navy taking on 7-2 Army. And this one, normally taking place Philadelphia, Baltimore, and New York. This one actually taking place at Army up there in West Point. So a different look to this game, a different feel to this game. But it should be a blast nonetheless. Army is a 6.5-point favor, which I think I saw is the first time they've been favored by this many points since like the early 90s, or something like that. 36.5 is your over under 3 o'clock on CBS. Nothing against Navy. This is one of those ones where, over the last couple of years we've seen this shift a little bit. Navy, for one reason or the next, just has had a couple of years of struggle. So I like Army here. I think they're even going to cover the 7.5 or the 6.5, but I'm going to actually go under on this one. And just because I don't like the other 2 games that ended up being this one by default is going to be my lock.
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Dave, Navy, Army.
We're gonna go with Navy here. Just go opposite of you, and surely the motivational aspect of playing the Service Academy games, that the records don't matter and that type of thing. Army should boat race them. How's that for a good one? Should boat race them, and win this pretty handily. A lot more talented squad, obviously, but. 2 service academies that like to run the ball, so the under should be the correct play in theory. But we'll take who'd I pick? Navy catching this.
You don't even know who you picked.
I think you said Navy because you're against me. Pick. I picked Army, so you picked Navy.
Yeah. Row the boat.
Sean, Army, Navy.
Yeah, I mean, it's always tough because I think a part of me wants to, take the underdog in this one just because it's kind of one of those, like, it's all you can play for. Unfortunately, I think track record-wise, I'm looking at what these teams have done this year, and Army's look real good. They've had a couple rough outings, but kind of, there's a reason why they're favored by more than usual. Not to mention Dave took Navy. So, even though the COVID didn't get you, your picks still will. We're going to go ahead. Too soon. Anyway.
Wow.
Went there. I've been saving that joke. It sounded a lot better in my head. I think I delivered it poorly, much like Navy will. So I'm going to take Army. I'm going to agree with Jim on this one. I think Army's going to cover. I am going to go the other way on the over-under, though. I think 38 sounds low, probably isn't, but because Navy's going to put up a fight, I think, they're going to maybe you see some quick scores, you see a little trickery, and they just crack into the 40s. I'll take the over.
All right, then we go to Miami, Florida, the University of North Carolina. They are 6-3. They are at Miami, and I forgot to write down who what their latest ranking, because the college football playoff ranking just came out. So North Carolina 17, Miami is 10. So Miami, a 3.5-point home favorite, over under 66.5. This one at 3:30 on ABC. North Carolina, they are a team Obviously we saw them with Notre Dame the other week. Lost to them. They lost to some troubling games. They lost to Florida State and Virginia, but they still put up points. And maybe it's just the Notre Dame fan in me. Maybe it's my hatred of all things Hurricane. But I like North Carolina to cover. I think North Carolina is going to win this game. I like the over. I think both offenses are going to move the ball. North Carolina, besides that game against Notre Dame, one of the most high-powered offenses in the country. So Tar Heels and to cover and the over. So Sean, what do you got?
Well, I agree with you on the over. I think you're going to see a lot of points. And I do like North Carolina. I think North Carolina is a program, and I think it's great when you have a powerhouse in one sport starting to put things together again in another sport. So I think it's great for the Tar Heels to be this competitive in college football, in addition to just being what many consider a basketball school. So I'm happy for them. I just don't see it happening. I feel like it's fairly neutral. Both teams have had a few weeks off. The COVID's kind of gotten a hold of the ACC schedule here too a little bit. And I think with that layoff, it just comes down to who I think the more talented team is. And unfortunately to say so, I think it is the Miami Hurricanes. I think the defense is a little better. I think that they have the ability to stop teams a little more than North Carolina does. So I'm going to take the Canes here. I'm going to take the Canes to cover at home. And they're going to push this score up and take it over.
Dave, how about you?
We're gonna go with UNC losing this game by a field goal, and then we're gonna go with the under as well. Sam Howell is pretty dang clutch in the fourth quarters here, but he's gonna come up just short on the game-winning drive here or something like that. But give me Carolina to cover the 3 and a hook, and give me the under barely. It's gonna be a hold your nose under here.
The Ravens have 161 rushing yards in the first half.
Yeah, there was a point where they were averaging like 9 yards a rush and only 4 yards per pass in the first half.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd be happy the Cowboys are going to have a top 5 pick, but that's only one pick.
Yeah, do you just draft defense?
Can you literally just draft a defense?
A whole one.
With the third pick in the 2021 NFL draft, the Cowboys draft defense.
We draft the entire defense from the University of Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, I would be totally fine with that. All right, then we go to the Big Ten. Wisconsin just dropping out of the top 25. They're technically at 26. They're 2-2. They're at number 16, Iowa, who is 5-2. They are a 1-point home favorite. 42.5 is the over/under, which feels like a Wisconsin-Iowa game. This one at 3:30 on FS1. I don't know what Wisconsin is, and I feel like they've had such a broken schedule, due to the COVID and everything. So I'm going to take Iowa to cover, obviously, and win this game. Over? I don't know. I have no clue about either of these teams. But yeah, Iowa plus and the over. Dave.
I'm going to take Iowa and the over as well. I think this Iowa team's pretty under the radar and pretty talented. You get a lot of tight ends here, the tight end nation, for lack of better terms, that they brew more tight ends than I think any other school in the country. Cole Kmet's out of Iowa, I do believe, and pretty talented.
That would be Notre Dame, right sir. That would be
Cole Kmet's at Notre Dame, which is where the rest of the tight ends
Iowa
come
and
from.
The over.
Yeah, the rest of the tight ends come from Notre Dame.
It's Iowa or Notre Dame. That's it.
Also, hang on to that name. You might hear it later.
A little preview. Sean, Wisconsin and Iowa.
Yeah, in the midst of all the COVID scatterings and the gaps in the schedule, I've been riding Wisconsin to a grisly slide here at the end of the year. I like all my wrong picks. I think 2 or 3 of my wrong picks over the last month have been taking a Wisconsin in a comeback game and saying they're going to run all over an opponent. So I refuse to do it another time. I'm going to ride with you guys. That way, if I lose, so do you. So I'm going to take Iowa.
It's just strategy at this point for you, right?
Yeah, it's just strategy. This game in particular, I don't mind going with my brain, but I know this is the one. So if you're betting in Vegas, think Badgers.
Yeah, Wisconsin. The 3 of us agree.
I'm on the other side of the ship. And if it's going down, I'm drowning with you guys. And sure, I'll take the over. Why not?
Why not? All right, we are going to pause here. Well, the other game I was going to have was going to be Cincinnati and Tulsa. That one also canceled due to COVID. The AAC championship will be between these two teams, whichever is ranked higher in the college football playoff next week, which obviously should be the Cincinnati Bearcats. So. Huddle Up Podcast is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app, that's arenaeats.app, for the ultimate fan experience. At your favorite sports venue, Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order?